Hi, we are the BHAB development group. My name is Shores, and I'm one of the developers making this game that we're about to play the demo for. And I primarily worked on the inventory system. We're going to talk about what we made primarily, but really all of us had our hands in most aspects of it.
Hello, my name is Wolfie. I'm a developer on the Janitor's Game. The main area I specialized in was the movement system.
Hey, I'm Samuel. I'm also a developer on the game. The main area I specialized in was the battle scene and map scene.
Hello, my name's Ethan. I'm also a developer. I specialize in all and most of the pixel art that is created within the game.
And my name is Jay Chauncey. I'm the sound technician for this game and have been brought on to help these developers with their project.
Alright, so starting off right here, this is our main menu. And we have main menu music. Could you talk a little bit about that, Jay?
Yeah, absolutely. So early on in the process when this group was coming together, the main thing that we wanted to discuss was the game feel. What was the point of the game? If it was going to be more silly, more serious, and I think we eventually decided on a more serious, more mysterious, and dark undertones for the game. I had a project that I had worked on in the past when I was first starting to learn the software. I use Ableton for this process. And I basically tore that out and used the skeleton of one of my old projects and really brought a lot more ambience and life to it to have some more delay, some better reverb, just some pieces to really create that more large open feeling and that feeling of mystery. Yeah, absolutely. So on each level, as we continue to progress and work on this into the future, will have its own themes, but each level will have have two themes. Each will have its main floor theme and then a battle theme. And so as of course those same ambiotic feelings and that same game feel that we were talking before went into the idea of this track, putting delay on a lot of the melodic bits of this music to feel like there's something always coming, like sneaking around the corner or coming up behind you. Most of the timbres of the music have been focused on synth-like pads and synth leads, just to really lock in that tech feeling. One of the main things about designing the battle theme for these floors, and you'll hear it here in a little bit when we get a little bit more into the gameplay. But technical considerations were timbre changes to give the music more of a punch and a feel of that energy moving to bring life to the battles, and we wanted to have that music also be able to change as you went into battle sequences where it didn't just abruptly start, but it faded in back and forth between two different tracks, so it wouldn't have felt like there was ever a break in the gameplay or there was some dissonance between that. And so when the battle theme comes in, it'll have increased rhythmic variances while still having to try to prescribe to the original main theme just so that it doesn't become desynced and has a smoother transition. And so I'll pass it back to you.
The lighting part. Okay, so we just have pretty much our flashlights at the moment. They are casting a line down sight that detects all walls and objects that we selected that are non-lightable. And with that element, it gives shadows and other aspects to the game that leaves it kind of dark, so then other aspects are hidden within the main content of the game. Passing it back to you.
Absolutely. So the movement was primarily designed around kind of a grid-based system. So each character, including the enemy team, is given a set range that they can travel. In this case, the character is allowed to walk in a 5-block radius, which is represented by the blue tone. Now, the script is designed to always find the shortest distance to the chosen square, so it's not possible for the player to pick which squares individually they'd like to move to. They can just pick their end destination, and the pathfinding will do that for them. And back to you.
Yes, so all of them, some of the items are rather old, and later on in development, we kind of updated them. This one got a little bit of love, but not as much as we would like to. So, in the past few days, I redid a little bit in the item button, which you'll see later on. And we tend to update stuff as we go along, as we get to learn and be better and do things more proficiently. And yeah, passing it on back to you. Yes.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we're going to be dealing with in this game are some dinosaurs. And so to get those sounds figured out, I did some research online. There's some real helpful like behind the scene clips from the Jurassic World movies and stuff like that, where they gave some good recommendations on how to make dinosaur sounds. And so on my computer currently have a large like matrix in my Ableton of just cut up sounds from animals from all around the world, of howler monkeys, giant cats, frogs, birds, tons of different animals that I've been using and manipulating in my software to stack up. And so the sound that we had just heard previously was the reveal sound for our T-Rexes, I believe. And I'll pass it back to you.
Sure. So the way that the turn manager is set up is it's designed to allow you to play through all 4 of your characters. And once you've gone through them, if there's any dinos present that have been alerted to your presence, they will get their own turn to approach you. And so, as you just saw, the dinos were awoken by your presence, and so they got their own little camera spotlight showing that they're coming for you. They're running off kind of the same movement script that the players are having, in that they are pathfinding right to you, taking the shortest distance possible.
Yeah, so battle scenes are all they're all completely created through code. Basically, all it does is just put this entire scene right on top of the map and put it on a higher sorting layer than the map, so you can't actually see anything behind it. And once you enter battle, your characters will stay in their positions on the map and will take their turns in the normal turn order. Instead of being able to move, however, they'll be able to attack in battle. Players can pick from one of 4 skills, the first skill being weapon skill, as you can see there, the bleach gun, and the other 3 depending on their class. And then they'll also be able to run away, defend, or switch positions with another unit. In battle, there can be up to 8 battlers, 4 on each team. And generally, the frontmost battler is at the most risk, so you want to put your heftiest units, your healthiest units in front, and keep your weakest units behind. The other catch with that is that when you attack at range, you're automatically put as far away as that range was. We can see here the player is starting in the 3rd position because they attacked from 3 tiles away. And whoever you attack is put in the front position. So if a dinosaur does attack a unit, they'll automatically be put in the front position and be very vulnerable. Back to you. Yeah, totally. So it's really very simple in Unity. You can assign a number of animations to an animator, and in that animator you can assign different variables that determine what's happening. So all we're doing right now is we have a single Boolean, true or false, is the player facing left, and then a single int going from 1 to 3, and that is what is their movement speed. 1 being standing still, 3 being walking, and 2 being right in the middle, which is where he's at right now. So throughout the game, all I do is change either of those 2 variables, and that will change the animation as well. You can see if he puts the flashlight to the right, he'll face right. All that's doing is switching the face left Boolean from true to false. And yeah, back to you. Yeah, so I don't know what to say. Made these when making the concept for the battle. Kind of intended them to be temporary, but Actually, they grew on me a lot. Really like them now. And yeah, they're kind of the basis for most of our characters now. Also, oh no, you're good. One other thing is every different battler has their own variations which they can have. So for example, the dinosaurs can have several different robotic body parts. This one has none. And that'll appear throughout the demo as well. But what all those different variations do is they affect their stats. For example, if the dinosaur has a gun, he'll have a longer range and several more attacks than a regular dino. At the moment, it's all random. Eventually, there will be some kind of AI, like, hey, this guy's not very low HP, attack him, or something like that.
I think right now is just a good time to just bring back the idea of the seamless transitions between the music, since we're kind of going in and out of combat. Yeah, so... Cool, absolutely. Oh, no worries, you're good. And so a lot of games, a lot of combat in games is initiated by a sudden transition, and if you're in a game where you're going in and out of combat a lot, that musical cue can become quite annoying or repetitive. And so we wanted to have more of that, since we're going in and out of combat so fast, we wanted to have that bleed over. And so Sam gave me some really good references, talking about the Fire Emblem series and other games of the sort. I did some research in figuring out how I could make those blend more effortlessly. And it posed a few problems. We didn't want to make the music too complicated, since it's supposed to be background, and if it's pulling too much attention, then you're not focused as much on the game. But the big thing was just trying to maintain the where notes were playing in both songs, but adding an increased amount of rhythmic variation and changing those timbres of the songs to be a little bit more harsh and a little bit more dramatic. when going into these battle scenes. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Sam?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think you did it really well. It's very
Thank you.
successful. When I was creating that screen-like battle transition, I was thinking of a few different ways of kind of signaling it, making different sound effects, having something more than just a straight white to black. But the music is actually perfect for it. The just sudden increase in the intensity when it wipes, absolutely perfect.
Well, thank you, good sir.
With the exception of the dinosaurs fighting. Yeah, it was last time.
Yeah, we've been trying to make as much as we can, but there's been some disconnects in the exact sounds that have been needed. So we have some sounds that aren't being used, and then we just don't have one for that dinosaur bite at this moment. But a lot of the sounds that have been designed have either followed the previous philosophies for the music design, in that it's very techy, and so that we need to have a lot of these tech-based sounds. So again, a lot of synthesizers are utilized in the sound creation process. A lot of the weapons and other more generic sound effects are created through more traditional means of hitting pillows and clapping and hitting, just banging a bunch of stuff together and getting those different frequency ranges and lining those up for hit sounds. Basically, all of the tech gun-based sounds that I've made have actual gunfire incorporated into them, but a lot of it has been distorted and warped to still hold onto the punch of the gunfire, but to turn it into more of a futuristic sound. Yeah.
And one more thing about the battles when talking about skills. So as we can see, that each skill has its own icon. All the icons, the entire battle GUI, and the battle background was all created by Ethan. Did you want to talk about those a bit?
Sure. So kind of to keep with the theme of like the top secret facility being underground or some other place, we kind of wanted to keep with like a lab feel, like where the dinosaurs were coming in and the janitors were cleaning up the lab. And so we kind of merged those together and created this little scene here. And as for the icons and the GUI, for the icons, I kind of kept with the item, what it is and what it does. And as for the skills, it's kind of like the first or the second one that's there. That one's for hitting behind, so it kind of has like a little thing coming up from behind. The third one is a crosshair, which is a targeted skill, so you get to target your enemy. And then the very last one has like kind of multiple punches, so that hits all enemies. Okay, on to you, Shores.
It might survive one more turn, or one more round. Yeah, it's a pretty sweet explosion. Explosions are kind of hard to make, so I'm surprised it turned out so well. That's about it. Oh, I forgot about that one. Is also not Jay's sound clip.
Yes, this one's also not mine. Though I can make plenty of explosions going forward.
Oh yes.
I think you're doing good.
Yeah, and all that movement is all done by mouse currently. Camera movement itself is done with WASD. And in addition, you can stop your flashlight from moving. Currently, it's also controlled with mouse. You can freeze it in place by pressing Control. Let's kill him.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, so there's walls above and there's walls below. So the walls below are the ones that you cannot go over, and they do not cast any shadows. But the walls above, They don't cast any shadows, and you can go underneath them though. So later on, if Shores wants to demonstrate, he'll show himself going behind the wall, but he's still there, and he can't go any farther into the wall than that. And we kind of wanted that for that kind of almost 2D, 3D effect, kind of isometric in a way. So it has a little bit more detail and it looks a little more lifelike. Back to you, Shores.
Yeah, so right now there are only two variations. There's the gun arm and the eye. The gun arm gives you new skills, but the eye actually makes your attacks stronger too. So this one, because he has no gun, he only has access to a dinosaur's strongest attack, which is the bite. And he has increased attack. So he's actually going to be doing a lot of damage. And you can actually still run away from that battle with one character. So you can still have them join up in the same battle if you need to. Yeah, that'd be good.
Turn. Once you end your turn, it should go away.
You're good. Yes, that's the first one. Apparently not. You can attack him again. Go right back in there. Yeah, you can move within 2 spaces of him. That's within 5 spaces. You're gonna have to move next to him. I can't see your mouse. No. The mop is the most powerful. The others are either ranged or hit all enemies, so they all have decreased power. The mop hits the one in front.
All right. All right, so what you're seeing here is just a credits scene we created for the sake of this demo. Because it's just a demo, it's not going to go through all of what a roguelike would be. So we set it up to where once the enemy team is killed off, or if your team is killed off, it's going to do that nice wipe transition and take you into this scene. In the background, we just have a little bit of humor going on as the dinosaurs are chasing around our little friends here. And yeah, that's about it. Back to you.
And right back to the main menu.
Brandon, I think your mic might be muted.
Yeah, like, what were you thinking? Well, as a pixel-based game, there's really not too much graphical configurability. But of course, we'll have resolution, sounds, difficulty, and
And that's the janitor game.